One of the main questions being asked by new players is what is considered a rare or a valuable kitty to breed. Though Cryptokitties on its own does not set a rarity for its market, it all comes down to what the community believes is important. With that said, I'll give you my opinion and observations that I would have loved to know when starting this game. Let's get started. When determining your kitty's rarity, one of the first things you need to think about is what generation your kitty is. At the current moment, the most highly valued generations of cats are the low ones, including Gen 0, Gen 1, and Gen 2. This is primarily because of the roadmap that we see here. And pretty much the roadmap says the last of the Gen 0 Cryptokitties are released to the network. At this point, the new Cryptokitties will only be created by breeding. This is very important because this is happening in November 2018, meaning that Gen Zeros will no longer exist, and there will be no way to create a Gen Zero. And there's no way to create a Gen 1 without two Gen Zeros. And the only way to create a Gen 2 would be from a Gen 0 and a Gen 1, or a Gen 1 and a Gen 1. So you see the market currently values these kitties so highly because they will become eventually very scarce. So in my opinion, one of the best places a beginner can start is just getting a low gen kitty. Maybe not necessarily Gen 0, Gen 1, and Gen 2 because those are really expensive, but maybe getting into the 3, 4s, and 5s. But past a certain gen, there is really little value to them as they can be created from the lower gen kitties. Another thing to look at when considering kitty's rarity is its Cattributes. In this page we see a Jaguar Gen 0, so that's automatically going to add value to it. But it actually has Cattributes here, and as you can see it has a lot of different attributes, but the thing that makes it cost so much is this attribute of Jaguar. And there's various other attributes like this that are just considered really high value. This one almost selling for 38 Ethereum, or trying to sell for that. The way to determine these attributes or which ones are rare is to go to Crypto Kitties right here. And it's a website you can go to. And here you can see all the different attributes, and the higher they are on the list, it means how much more rare they are at the moment. Keep in mind this is always changing. And at the moment, like Daffodil just came out, Sandalwood is pretty new, so very few cats have been released with this trait. But as you keep going down the list, you can see Totes Basic is basically the least desired trait at the moment. But like I said, these can all vary, so when determining how much your kitty's worth or whether you should breed it, really look at its traits and decide for yourself. One of the last determining factors to whether your kitty's worth breeding and what its value is whether it's fancy. As you can see here, these are all fancy cats right here. They're all, as you can see, very unique and different than any of the kitties in the game. And these are basically created with just the genetics of the different cats. And the developers here go in more detail about them.
There's also hundreds of fancy cats. So all of our cats are procedurally generated. The genes, just like real genes, get passed from parents to children, and you get some from the parents of both sides. But with the right genetic combination, you can unlock these fancy cats, and these have custom art. They're very special. They're very exciting for a lot of the players that we've seen so far. There's hundreds of those. And there is, though we're not going to give you the exact same details, a ton of genes that are still to be unlocked that nobody...
So basically, these fancy cats are the end game of the game, and figuring out which attributes and genes mix together to make these kitties will actually cause a rise in certain attributes and value, and also drop. And I feel that's exciting because we have such a small population of fancies at the moment. Only recently was the Santa Claus fancy released, and people are still trying to research how to create these. So as the game continues to progress, this is what people will focus on more, and ultimately should be how you breed your kitties. I use this tool here called kitty.services, and basically it's a Cattribute Predictor, and it's as simple as putting in two IDs here and seeing what the result would be. It's not 100% accurate, but it will give you a really good idea of what it would be. So what I'm going to do here is go for this Gen 1 regular cat, it doesn't really even have any jaguar genes, but the only thing it does have is that it has a jaguar dad. So we're gonna copy this one, and we're just gonna see what the probability of it getting a jaguar is. So we're gonna put his ID right there, and we're gonna get the other cat's ID. This is I'm just using this because it's a Gen 1 Gold Swift, or it was Swift. No, it's not. But we're gonna put in the predictor and see what the resulting kitties could be. What are the percentages? And basically, from this calculator, we'll see that jaguar, there's a 6% chance of getting a jaguar from this mix. It's not too high, but it's still there. The possibility will always be there. And these are other attributes it could have. Gold, 41%, beard, and a fancy as well. There's a chance for it to be a very fancy cat. So, as you could tell from this, it gives you a really good idea. So when you're going through the marketplace and seeing different IDs and you can't choose between two cats, try out this tool and it could help you make a better decision. So with that, we come to the end of this breeding guide. Hopefully it helped you guys out, and please keep in mind that this is just based on my opinion and my observations in playing this game. Traits are always going to be changing and the game's evolving as we speak, so nothing's for certain, but hopefully this gives you just a general idea of what you should be looking for at the current moment. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. I hope to keep making videos on Crypto Kitties. If you haven't done so, please check out my previous video for a chance to win this tutorial cat. I'm giving it away, but only entries in the previous video will count. I hope to give it out next week. And with that, that's the end of this video. Take care, and I'll see you guys all next time!